Okay, so we're going to pick this up from opening the ancient file. All right, and if you're following along in your textbook, that's WD 94, or it's in the section under reviewing the MLA style. So I need to locate my ancient file. All right, remember how we save these on the flash drives? And if you didn't save them on your flash drive, you can work off your M or N drive off of the computers at school. Okay, so we're going to click on Browse. And my particular one I have on the OneDrive. And whack. And as you can see, I have quite a few files. Yep. We go to the Word, and we're in Word 2, still in Module, okay, and we're looking for ancient.docx. So double click on that. It'll process it, and it should open. Sometimes if it says it's not responding, sometimes it's just slow coming off. Like mine's coming off of OneDrive, which happens to be in the cloud, and it may take a little bit longer for it to come up. If it's on your flash drive, it should immediately show up, or if it's on your hard drive. Okay, so this is basically History of Ancient Architecture written by Carolina Frey, okay, for Professor Serena Cho. And if you'll notice over on WD95, there's a checklist for formatting a default Word document to match MLA style. Double space the entire document, remove paragraph spacing from the entire document, increase the font size for the entire document to 12 points. Okay, right now we're at 11, if you'll notice. Indent the first line of each paragraph a ½ inch from the left margin, and add the page number in the upper right hand corner of each page. Now some of this we went over in class, but it was kind of brief, okay, so I'm going to go over it again. Alright, so our text actually wants us to choose Select All, so we're going to choose Control A. Alright, Control A is Select All shortcut. Then the next thing that we're going to do is make sure the Home tab is selected on the ribbon, which it is. Okay, you notice we point up here, this is their Home tab. Now my picture is not going to stay on this all the time. I'll disappear after a while. I'm just there just so that you know that I'm actually here with you. Alright, no, this isn't live. But I am actually recording for you. So the next thing that we want to do, the reason we want to choose everything is because we're going to be applying the line and paragraph spacing to everything, and we want to choose double spacing. Okay, remember how we add and remove spacing before and after paragraphs? Well, this time we're making it consistent for all paragraphs. So we're going over to the paragraph group. We're going to select line and paragraph spacing. Alright, and you see where it says 2.0. Notice how it changed. Okay, see if I go to 1.5, notice how closer the lines get together. Alright, if we went up to 3.0, we'd have lots of space in between. But if any of you were wondering, a lot of times we put the extra lines in between the spaces, one, so that it can be read more easily, and two, it also allows your professors to be able to make editing comments for you if they're actually writing on the paper. So that comes in handy. Alright, so we want 2.0. Alright, now you're going to also click the line and spacing. Alright, and we want to remove space after paragraph. Alright, so that we shouldn't have any extra lines. Everything should be consistent. Alright, we also, since we've already got it selected, we're going to go up to the font and change the size from 11, okay, to 12. Okay, more easily read. Okay, never go below 10 point. All right, for reading, it's very hard to read 10 point and below. All right, 11, 12 is the average reading font for people. And if you have older people or people that have sight problems, go up to 14 or 16 if you need to print something for them. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is indent a paragraph. And if you look in figure 2-23, but here's some examples of different types of paragraph indents. Okay, you've got your first line indent, okay, which is your standard. I'm going to click down here and kind of demonstrate it for you. All right, I use tab to do it, but if you'll notice up here, your first line indent is also on your ruler, okay, and that changes depending on where you move it. Okay, by default, our tabs are set up to go every ½ inch. Okay, so if I wanted to go in an inch, I could press tab again. Okay, but if you'll notice that also kicked over my second, third, and fourth lines there. So I just want the first line. All right, so you've got your tab. You've also got your hanging indent. All right, and that's when you take your, hold on just a second. If you notice up here, top one is your standard indent. Then you've got your hanging indent, which is the second one, second triangle. Okay, notice right here. So when you bring that over a ½ inch or however far you want to, first line stays where it is. Notice up here the first triangle. The second triangle below it is the hanging indent. These are used mainly for bibliographies and references, when we do our bibliography, you'll see that. Okay. Now, if we don't want to apply that, we're just going to do an undo, and that kicks it back. As we mentioned in class, you can also do a standard indent. Okay, and that's when you get right in the middle of this. Whoops, sorry. It's not gonna, sorry, it's the rectangle at the bottom. And you can move the whole paragraph and indent the whole paragraph. Now, if you want to indent it from both sides, like for a quote, you know, a longer quote in your essays, okay, you can over to the right side. You'll notice there's a triangle for an indent from the right side, and you can move it over the same amount of space and offset it to where that paragraph or that quote is shown as a feature. Okay. I'm just doing an undo to do that. I'm just demonstrating this part. So anyway, so to review, we have our first line indent. Okay, the second triangle, all right, is our left indent. Wait a minute. First line indent is the first triangle. Second triangle, all right, is your hanging indent. Okay, and your third, which is your rectangle, is your left indent. That's all lines in a paragraph. Okay, and then we also have a right indent. Okay, from the right margin. Okay. So those are different types of indents, and you can see those again on page WD 96, okay, figure 2-23. We're going to indent our first lines of our paragraphs. So go down through each paragraph, and if it helps, turn on your paragraph codes so you can see where you need to place them. See, we've got one right here. But the thing is, this is our title, so we don't need to put one there, but we do need to put one in the following full paragraph. So tab, got a paragraph ends, paragraph begin, tab. Paragraph end, paragraph begin, tab. paragraph in, paragraph tab, or end, to begin, sorry, tab. Alright, and then we get back down here, this one ends, but we've got a heading. Then we go to our new paragraph, new tab. So you want to just do that all the way down the document. So we're making it conform to MLA style. Okay, again, here's our heading. So we go down to the next paragraph. And we've got them all. Okay, now the document they wanted to, the text wanted us to save this as, save a copy as ancient, what? Does anybody know? Checking with you here. Ancient architecture. Alright, so we're going to add the word architecture on this, if you haven't already. We're going to save it in the same location. Okay. Alright, and click on Save. Now, in your book, they also they offer a repeat key by using the tab feature or the actual indent feature. If you want to learn that method, just go back over that section. It's on page WD98, number 8, and so just FYI. Alright, so the next thing we're going to be doing is inserting and modifying page numbers, WD98. Alright, so, and mine's running just a little bit slow here. But while we're waiting, if you've noticed on books, whether it be your textbooks or standard books, you'll notice that at the bottom and the top that there are, hopefully you can see this, okay, at the top, that's called a header. Anything that shows up on a document or throughout an actual document or file or work, at the top of the document consistently is called a header. Anything that shows up at the bottom of the page is called a footer. Okay, so on this particular instance, we're going to be putting our page numbers at the top of the document in the header. So what we want to do is we want to press Control Home, and where does that take us? Yep, takes us to the top of our document. Okay, Control N takes us to the very end. Control Home takes us to the top. Okay, so what we're going to do on the ribbon, we're going to go to the Insert tab. That's the second tab, actually a third tab. It's the third tab. File, Home, Insert. Okay, so go to Insert. Alright, and what we're going to do is click on page number. Instead of using the headers and footers, we're just going to go straight to page number because we're not adding any other thing other than just the page number. So click on page number, and they are wanting us to put it at the top of the page. So click on top. Okay, and we have a variety of different styles of how they can appear. Okay, but we're going to go with plain number 3 because we want it at the top and we want it at the right, and we just want the number. Okay, and what that does is that puts in a code, so it automatically puts in a, number 1, number 2, number 3. Okay, it understands when you hit page 2. Okay, so you don't have to put all that in, you're just inserting the code. Okay, so we're going to click on plain number 3. Alright, and I want you to, where you're sitting, if you notice that the insertion point's right before the number 1, you're going to type in your last name and the space. Okay, now I know it looks like there's a dot in there, but remember that dot is an actual space. Okay, we're just seeing the codes from where we turned on show and hide on the home page. So if you want to turn that off, you can. Okay, now we want to make sure that our text up here is also 12 point, so we're going to highlight that. Okay, choose 12. Okay, so it's consistent with the rest of our document. Okay, and so what we're needing to do is I want you to scroll down. All right, if you'll notice, see, it changed our page numbers. Page 2, page 3, page 4, okay? Now if we press Control Home to go back up the top, well, hopefully your Control Home's working better than mine. Okay, we'll go back up to the top, and we're going to take off the page number off page 1, because by standards, MLA standards, we typically don't leave a page number or a header on page 1. Okay, so we're going to go to see right here, we've got a header and footer tools design tab now. Click on that. All right, and we want different first page. So click on that, and that gets rid of our name and the first page. Okay, and once we're done, we click on Close Header and Footer, and you can scroll down and you notice we still have page numbers on page 2, 3, and 4, and that's what we wanted it to do.